Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're an accounting student with your eyes on the CPA board exams, you are in exactly the right place. Today we're tackling a massive topic, how corporations are born under the revised corporation code. Think of it like a complete system overhaul for businesses, and we're going to break down everything you need to know.
So you might be wondering, why did we even need this giant update? Was the old way of starting a company really that bad? Well, for almost 40 years, the old corporation code was the law of the land. But let's be real, it was designed for a totally different era. It was rigid, it was packed with outdated rules, and honestly, it made it pretty tough for new businesses to even get off the ground.
Here's a great way to think about it, and this is a fantastic study hack for you. Picture it like an operating system upgrade for your phone or computer. The old code, that was like running Windows 95. Yeah, it worked, but it was slow, clunky, and couldn't handle anything modern. The revised corporation code, that's the latest and greatest OS. It's built for today's world. It's flexible, super accessible, and way more user-friendly.
All right, let's dive into our first major update, the people, or things that can actually start a corporation. This is all about the who, and trust me, the rule book got a complete rewrite here.
Just look at this side by side. The old way, you needed a whole crew, at least 5 people. They had to be actual human beings, and most of them had to live here in the Philippines. But now, the minimum number is just 1, and that residency rule, poof, gone. This is a huge deal because it makes the country way more attractive for investment and just opens up a ton of new possibilities.
Okay, LACPA alert. This is a big one, so listen up. Who can be an incorporator now? It's not just individuals anymore. We're talking partnerships, other domestic corporations, associations. You can even have foreign corporations as incorporators. This change allows for way more complex and strategic business structures than were ever possible before. You'll definitely want to remember this. And that number 1, it represents maybe the single biggest innovation here, the one-person corporation, or the OPC. This is an absolute game changer for solo entrepreneurs. Before, if you were flying solo, you were stuck as a sole proprietor, meaning your personal assets and business assets were legally the same thing. Super risky. Now, one person can form a corporation and get all the legal protection that comes with it. It's a massive, massive shift.
Moving on, let's talk about 2 of the biggest hurdles that used to stop people from starting a corporation: money and time. The new code took a sledgehammer to both of these barriers.
So let's just bust a huge myth right now. For years, everybody thought you needed a ton of cash just to get a corporation off the ground. And, the old rules about minimum investments were a major reason why. They were a serious roadblock for a lot of would-be entrepreneurs. Well, here's the amazing news. That old rule about minimum capital stock, it's gone, wiped out. For most companies, you no longer need to show a minimum amount of capital to get incorporated. Now, sure, there are some exceptions for special industries like banks, but for the vast majority of businesses, that huge financial barrier to entry has been kicked to the curb.
And what about the clock? Under the old code, every corporation had a 50-year expiration date stamped on it. You literally had to renew your existence. But the new code, it just threw that whole idea out. Now corporations have what's called perpetual existence. They can last forever by default. This brings so much more stability for long-term planning. And get this, even companies that expired under the old rules can apply to be brought back to life.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're talking about the foundational document of any corporation, the Articles of Incorporation, or AOI. This is literally the blueprint, the source code for the entire company. And if you're studying for your boards, this is an absolute must-know checklist.
So, what exactly goes into this blueprint? All the core DNA of the company, really. The name, what it's going to do, its home address here in the Philippines. You also have to specify if, for some reason, you don't want it to last forever. And of course, the who's who, the incorporators, the first set of directors, and all the details about the company's stock. Every single item on this list is absolutely critical.
All right, last but not least, what happens after you get that official certificate of incorporation? Well, you can't just frame it and forget about it. There's a use it or lose it rule. The good news? The new code gives you a lot more breathing room. The clock is definitely ticking, but it's ticking a whole lot slower than it used to.
Let's break this down. Let's say you incorporate, but then you do nothing. The old rule gave you just 2 years to get your act together. The new rule, it gives you a much more generous 5 years. And what if you start your business, but then it goes dormant for 5 years straight? The old code was harsh. Your charter could just be revoked. The new code, however, introduces this middle step called delinquent status. So what on earth is delinquent status? Think of it like being put on probation. After 5 years of being inactive, the SEC flags you. But it's not game over. You get a 2-year grace period to fire things back up. If you resume operations, awesome, you're back in good standing. If you don't, well, then your certificate gets revoked. It's basically a second chance to get your business moving again.
Okay, let's do a super quick bullet review. If you remember nothing else, tattoo these 4 points on your brain. 1. One-person corp. You can incorporate solo. 2. Zero capital. That huge money barrier is pretty much gone. 3. Perpetual life. Corporations are built to last forever. And 4. The 5-year rule. You have more time, 5 years instead of 2 to get started. These are the absolute game-changing updates you have to know.
So there you have it. The revised corporation code has fundamentally changed the game, making it easier and more flexible than ever to start and run a business in the Philippines. For you, as future CPAs and business leaders, understanding these changes isn't just for an exam, it's for your career. The barriers are lower, the possibilities are bigger. The only real question left is, what will you build?